Happy Friday, Denver, where none of us have been indicted for paying off a porn star. At least not yet. I'm your host, John X. I will be here with you, with my two co-hosts, bringing you all the cool shit here on Mile High Life. That is where all the best pods are. Not to mention this show, which is the best show on that network because we have the best band playing us in. The Freakishinas play Happy Friday. Go check them out. They got a show coming up Saturday, April 15th, but we're not alone here. It's not just me and the Freakishinas. I got my co-host over there, Kevin Batstone.
Happy Friday, Denver. Good to see you guys again. April Fool's Day is tomorrow. I had a joke lined up for you, but it's just not going to work. It's the 31st. Hope you're all well.
And to my left, but never give him the left hand, is Arthur Raw.
Thank you so much, and don't give the left because it's just disrespectful, okay? If you give dap, you give a handshake, you got to provide the right, and that's just how it goes in these mean streets of the world.
So when we're talking mean streets, let's talk Park Hill. Park Hill Golf Course, we've talked about it here. We've got a ballot measure coming up here that we're voting on next week. Kev, more story.
Yeah, so, like you said, John, we did touch on this, I think it was a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, right? We kind of know what's going on. April 4th, right? We got a big vote coming up. Yep. We got Denver mayoral candidate going on. We have a lot of things that are on the ballot for the 4th.
My ballot's been submitted.
So you've already voted.
Good
and
job,
I think
John.
we know your position on a lot of things when it comes to this. So, we don't need to get into that because we already did it. But here's the deal. So if this thing doesn't pass, right, they are considering doing a Topgolf-like facility, which is interesting to me because it's not going to be a franchise Topgolf. It'd be a Topgolf-like facility. So what is
Topgolf-esque.
Yeah, what is that going to look like, guys?
No idea. But here's the thing that is weird to me about this issue. I'm not telling you which way I voted because I think either way would surprise you, right? But one of the things that people say is I don't like that the developers have been handed special treatment. This easement was cheap, whatever, right? They got a sweetheart deal. They're trying to put affordable housing, and people are like, no, we want to keep it as open space. It's like people who want housing, you know what they love? Golf, right? This thing has to be rezoned into a fucking golf course if it fails.
If it fails.
And so they go, okay, well, we're going to do it Topgolf style. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if they're trying to torpedo their own vote. Like, it was a very weird story to me, dude.
It is. I mean, because that's a good point, especially when we're coming down to the wire here, and maybe folks that, there's a lot of late voters, right?
Oh, yeah.
People that, study, I got to get my ballot in next week. Now they're starting to look at this, and if this is going to persuade some votes, I mean, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and it comes from them, too. Like, they're trying to get this thing built, and they go, hey, if it doesn't get built, we're going to put Topgolf in. It's like, what are you guys doing to yourselves? Like, that's fucking strange to me.
Kind of seems
I don't know.
Self-sabotage a little bit. What do you think, Art?
Well, I think the Topgolf thing can be fun. I don't pay too much attention to politics and, all the rigmarole with all that. But I honestly think that there's a lot of unused housing opportunities within all the cities right now, especially with office buildings, a lot of people working remote. What about converting office buildings into livable spaces, and things of that nature. I feel like there's a lot of different creative solutions that aren't actually being looked into. And leisure is great. I mean, as long as it has great views and can help bring back to the city, I'm okay with a Topgolf type of situation with that. It would be fun. As long as it's less expensive, because the only time I can afford Topgolf is on Tuesdays, and even then, it's
That's packed.
Yeah, it's packed. It's full.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I like this idea. It just doesn't seem like, even if it were to fail, and this is a possibility with this open land, I don't know if I would want to go down that rabbit hole.
I just want to stop fucking hearing about it.
Yeah.
One way or the other. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday here.
Yeah.
So get your votes in. There's fights going on. Speaking of fights, Donald Cerrone, my all-time favorite fighter, born here in Denver, was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, which
epic.
Is absolutely phenomenal. So Dana White says this about him. Cowboy consistently fought the best of the best for over a decade inside the Octagon, set a ton of records in the process. Second most finishes in UFC history. Second most wins, third most fights. This is one where I have to separate the art from the artist because he said some fairly contemptible things about the LGBTQ community, which I don't want to go unacknowledged. But that said, as a fighter, someone I enjoyed probably more than any other fighter.
I think you said it the right way there, John, too, because it's like everyone says some dumb shit or does dumb things, when they're away from their professionalism. But what he did, in the Octagon is obviously not going unnoticed. And to make the Hall of Fame is incredible. And he's from Denver is fantastic.
Yeah. So that's our Denver connection here on Happy Friday, Denver. Art, do you watch UFC at all?
I really.
It's a sport, so I know that's.
No, actually, that is one that I do enjoy watching. One of my buddies, he gets pay-per-view, and I'll get the food, and we hang out at my place. pay-per-view ain't cheap for that, right?
Oh,
It's like
no.
$80 or something.
Well, that's why you got to get the boys to chip in on.
Yeah. So that's why I do beer. I do beer food. He provides the pay-per-view. He's getting it regardless.
Perfect. That's good.
And so we do that. It's a lot of fun. I've had an opportunity to meet some local fighters as well. That was actually at the Mile High Sports Christmas event or holiday event.
Oh, nice.
And I just really respect the sport a lot. These people are really out there sacrificing their bodies and also peak physical condition. To be in that sort of mentality and also hold it down like that and have the balls to go and toe to toe with somebody that's also peak. It makes me wonder. Like, I've only been in like one fight in my whole entire life. Like,
that's one more than me.
Like how would you hold up? How would you hold up into this stuff?
It's a barbaric sport. There's no question.
Yeah, dude. I kind of like the idea. It is barbaric, but I like the idea of dropping two people inside a cage and just seeing who's the better fighter.
I mean, it goes back to like the Roman times.
Totally.
Just let's fight it out. And I mean, anytime you get into a Hall of Fame, I don't care what sport it is.
Yeah.
That's a huge honor. And I know we're going to talk WrestleMania at the back end of the show, but I did see Stacy Keibler went in this week to the WWE Hall of Fame, and she was a thin slice of all right.
She's a thin slice.
She got some legs.
All right, so we're talking fighting. The only natural segue here is to gardening. So, Art, let's go to you.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about legs, but legs, the stem of a plant. So, spring is upon us. When is the best time to start planting all of your plants, right? So, the Botanical Gardens had some insight here, which is a lot of fun. We got this off Denver 7. And the rule of thumb is to start planting after Mother's Day, right? So you start planting after Mother's Day. However, if you have perennial plants, which, those can be planted right now.
Yeah.
So those are tough. They can handle it. But it's more of your annual plants, the ones where it's like, your veg, the more delicate ones. Those are the ones that you're going to want to wait on. So start prepping for your plants. John, you're the only one out of us three that has a yard. Do you do gardening, or do you have plants that your family partakes in, or even indoor plants?
No, my wife will tell you that if you want to kill an indoor plant, give it to her. She will manage to kill it. But in our front yard, our tulips are starting to show up, which is really nice. And like it's a real Americana picture when our tulips, like we have a bright row of tulips right in front of our nice house.
It's beautiful.
It's lovely. We have some peonies, so like some flowers, but beyond that, not much. My wife has talked about wanting to get a vegetable garden. I think that'd be fun. I'd like to make my own salsa.
So what would be, and then Kev, I want to ask you the same question too, but what would be your top 2 veggies or fruits? What are you going to want to plant? What's your top 2?
Peppers, definitely. Like some spicy peppers, because like I said, I want to make my own salsa.
Yeah. I like that for sure. It's fun. I mean, plants are fun. I used to do a little bit of gardening back. I worked on a farm, so we would grow tulips and petunias and hanging geraniums and all those things that we would take down to the market and stuff. So I was a little bit versed in that area. But personally for me, I have a cactus and I have a philodendron in my apartment. That's all I work with right now. But I'll tell you this, if you guys haven't messed with arrow gardens, have you heard of those?
No.
Arrow gardens are fantastic. I bought my ex-girlfriend one, and my mom has like 9 of them. You can grow tomatoes, lettuce, all indoor.
It's kind of like a hydroponic thing.
It's a hydroponic grow system.
Cool.
It's
nice.
Small though. It's not very big. I mean, you can get the massive ones, but you can grow peppers, produce, flowers, anything you want. So if people are looking to do indoor growing, I would recommend arrow gardens.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. So what would be your top 2 things that you're planting?
I mean, I got to agree with John. Peppers for sure, but I'd probably go jalapenos as one. What would I go with second? I mean, tomatoes would be good. Lettuce. I mean, it'd be good to be able to grow your own salad, I feel like.
The problem is when you grow lettuce, because my mother-in-law grew it with her ex-husband, you end up with a shitload of it.
A lot. And you have to use it or it's going to go bad.
Yeah,
because once you harvest it, it's going to start browning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's a real gamble. You got to up your veggie game in terms of what you're cooking each night.
I'd grow mushrooms, I think. I like boomers.
Yeah, some
not
mushrooms.
the psych ones are cool too, but like I like mushrooms.
Yeah,
just in general.
like portobello ones.
Yeah, like portobellos and shiitake and oyster.
I'm not a mushroom guy.
Yeah.
I love them. I eat them raw every day.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Just like a hand fruit?
Handful.
Holy fuck.
I love it. Keeps me robust.
Okay, well, man, I don't know where to go with that, but it's Art again talking about charity, which I love this show because, like, here we are, just 3 dudes talking about fucking gardening and charities for women. So, Art, what do you got?
Well, who we got here is a remarkable woman. A local woman starts a charity to help those escaping trauma. So there is so much negativity in this world, and we can't escape it, but we can choose to do something about it. And that's what Linda has done. And she is a retired librarian, and she started a charity called Heart to Heart. And this charity benefits women and people escaping trauma who ended up in shelters. So you can only imagine the life that had led to being in a shelter, and that's so difficult, and these people do need an extra hand, right? So I agree with that, and I do love what she's doing here, but reading this, proposed a question for me that I wanted to ask the two of you. Like, if you were to create a charity, Kevin, what would it be for? What would your charity be?
Well, it would kind of depend, I guess, on where the mission is for me. I mean, piggybacking off this article, I had the privilege of playing an event with the Ridge Runners. That was all of the proceeds for it, and everything we did went to the women's battered shelter. So kind of a similar deal to what is going on here. And I think that's a good thing to bring attention to, because there's just, we've talked about it. We've touched on it a few times with charities and stuff.
Well, dude, I talk about the Blue Bench all the time on here.
Yep.
So preventing and helping survivors of sexual assault.
Yep.
So like that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm 100% with you.
I think it would kind of piggyback somewhere off of this area. People that are, don't have anywhere to go, right? I mean, you got food drives, and there's a lot of different charities you can do, for toys for tots, kids, stuff, all that kind of stuff. I think that's all well and good, but I think I would kind of go along with something like this. A lot of people out there are hurting. They don't know which way to turn, and it's good to bring some attention to it.
Yeah. I never had designs on starting a nonprofit, because I used to manage the charitable giving portfolio for the the company that I used to work for. And after that, when I was on my own in 2017, I started a thing called Mile High 100, which basically we would bring in 3 charities. Everyone agreed that they would bring in $100 each, and we would vote. Like, each one had 5 minutes to present, and so it was kind of Shark Tank style. And then we'd take a vote, and everyone agreed to support the majority winner and cut a check to them on the spot. And so you hope to get 100 people in the room, $10,000 to a charity right there. So we did that. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. We shut it down in 2019. But I kind of liked that model. That was cool, because you got exposed to a lot of different charities. We held it once a quarter. Didn't go where I wanted it, but that's sort of my contribution.
Still a great idea.
It is.
Still a great idea. If I was to do a charity, and I know I wrote this question, but I haven't really considered it until now. I think I would want to do something revolved around folks that they don't have their parents, right? Like they're in the system for like foster care and stuff, right? So maybe some sort of like outreach thing to where it like creates like opportunities for young, adolescents and children to get into like sports or band or whatever. Like it's like a charity,
like
that
a Big Brother program.
Yeah, that goes into paying for events like that, so then they could start getting that creative gene going.
Yeah, 100%.
Regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
So one organization we used to support in my company was called Rocky Mountain Children's Law Center, which provided legal services for kids who were getting jerked around in the foster care system. And so those kids slip through the cracks really, really easily, and this is one that tries to fill in those cracks. So just a shout out to Rocky Mountain Children's Law Foundation. So.
Yeah, and our friends over there at Justice Special doing some great things for the foster care community as well.
On both of our shows, our other shows.
Our other shows, yep.
So, all right, moving right along, the Bouncing Souls have released a new album called 10 Stories High. The Bouncing Souls are one of my absolute fucking favorite bands of all time. They're from New Jersey, and they have a song called Kenver. And basically the chorus goes like this: another day, let's play, it's another night in Denver, a place so close to me. Let's stay, let's play, it's another night in Denver, no place I'd rather be today. And I'm like, holy fuck, like my favorite band writing about my city. And the whole album just slaps too. I fucking love these guys. I love this album. Everyone should check it out.
Yeah, we had the chance to listen to it before we jumped on the air, so we could, get where I could get familiar with it, and I like it.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah, good music. It's fast paced, like we talked about. Good tempo. I'm not real familiar with these guys, but cool story.
Yeah,
I mean, I just feel fortunate because you get all these epic artists from around the entire globe, and they always seem to come to this state.
They fucking love it.
And write a song about it. Everyone wants to write a song about Colorado, whether it's Denver, whether it's about the whole state. Rocky Mountain High, all this stuff. And so, Kev, I know this is home to you now, but John, do you feel like we would appreciate Colorado more if like we were transplants? But since we're both from here, do you feel like there's a less of appreciation?
Dude, so
I don't think so, but
It's a hard question to answer because I moved to Texas when I was 17, and we stayed there for a year because we all fucking hated it, and we're all like, we got to go back. Like, so that deepened my love of Colorado and of Denver, and I go, I don't ever want to leave here. Like, I love this place. I love traveling. I love seeing the world, but this is my home. And so, like, the fact that I lived away from here in a place that I didn't much care for really, like, deepened and strengthened my love for this place.
And how about you, Kev? Like, why do you think all these artists come out here and they're so enamored and, like, enthralled to create these songs that have to do with this state? Like, did you experience any emotions like that when you first moved out here? Like, you're just like, wow, this is it.
Yeah, it took a while to get acquainted with the city, of course, when you first moved here. But I think just like any comedian, actor, musician will tell you, this is one of the best cities to perform in of across entertainment across the board, right? There's just good vibes here. It's a beautiful city. There's a lot of fun things to do. This is a party city. We like to have fun, but we're also buttoned up, and there's a lot of good views out there as well. So,
Gentlemen dirtbags, if you will.
Gentlemen dirtbags, as we alluded to last week.
If we can call back to that.
Yes, as we alluded to last week. But no, I think, look, there's just so many topics that we, Red Rocks, Rocky Mountain High, the Mile High City, just everything that goes along with. Obviously, we're 420 friendly. A little bit of mushrooms, all those kind of things are fun.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms.
God damn.
Yeah, I like to fuck with John, but
yeah, dude, and you're so good at it.
It gets you every time.
I take the bait every fucking time. I got to get better at it.
Yes.
God damn it. All right, well, all right. Eric Clapton is coming to Denver.
Stop.
So, God damn it, tell me about Eric Clapton.
So, Eric Clapton is coming to Denver, and I'm excited about this because this is a rock and roll legend, guys. Okay, he's coming to Ball Arena. He's coming to Ball Arena September 16th. I hope I can get some tickets. He's coming with Jimmy Vaughn, of course. And look, Clapton has set the mark in rock and roll. He's the only 3-time inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean,
really?
That's a pretty serious honor right there.
That is epic.
And my co-host from Mash the Gas has an Eric Clapton special guitar that is behind glass. It's like a high-end deal. He loves Clapton. And, I mean, who doesn't? This guy is a legend in music. I love listening to him. Layla, Cocaine. He's written some of those classic hitters.
That's true. This is one where I separate the art from the artist again.
Yes.
Because Clapton has some real bad skeletons in his closet and I think some pretty terrible opinions that I happen to disagree with. But we don't need to go into his racism or, his wife beating.
Sure.
Like, in depth. But, like, to leave that unacknowledged, I feel like would be a dereliction of duty. I will say he is an unbelievable guitar player, and his contributions to rock and roll are unchallenged.
Yes.
Right? So I will give you all that. I'm not going to be at this show personally, but if you're going to go, man, fucking rock out.
Yeah, I'd like to go. What's your thoughts, Art?
I mean, look, when you have a musician that, even if you don't know a single one of their songs, but you know their name, especially when you have the brain of Arthur Raw and you don't remember any pop culture shit ever.
No, you would know it if you heard it. It's one of those artists where, like, all of a sudden he starts playing, you go, oh, I know this fucking song.
Yeah. No, and I know a lot of the songs. Yeah. I just don't know who plays them. But Eric Clapton is a name that does stick with us. And, I mean, how long has this guy been doing it for, right? Like,
oh, God.
He's 77 now.
Yeah, so he was, like, popping when my pops was young and stuff. And, like, so you got to give him that credit for resilience over the decades that he has been a fixture.
Got to be at least 5 decades.
Oh, at least. Yeah, at least. I mean, look, that's true rock and roll right there. You put out there Keith Richards, Sammy Hagar, all these guys that have been around, ripping tater chipping for all these years. I tip my hat to them.
All right, how you get into the thing? Maybe an e-bike, maybe a scooter. Art, you got a story about this?
Yeah, so just a little simple tidbit here. I see a lot of these. I've been working downtown from time to time. We've been seeing these for years now, folks. Come on. All the electric scooters out there, Denver has a voucher program for that. So in order to find that easily, just go down to the show notes, click on the link, and then it's going to direct you there from the article. Okay, so go ahead and get that voucher if you're planning on doing that, because wherever we can save money, it's important, especially with all the supply chain issues. I won't get into all that in detail. However, it's an interesting conversation because these electric scooters are actually pretty fun. And I was curious because the first time I ever rode one was in California, the Long Beach area, and I rode it around the neighborhoods for a little bit, and then we took it out on like the beach path.
First time I did it was in Venice.
Really?
It was in Marina del Rey, Venice, and Santa Monica.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So tell us that story, John. Like, how'd it go?
That was one of the best fucking days of my life because my wife and I flew out there for an NXT TakeOver event. which is wrestling. And we saw it at the Staples Center, and then we met up with friends the next day, and it was one of those days where we hit like 7 bars, and we were like scooting between bars, and it was a day where it's like, how is it only 3:30?
Yeah.
You know, like it felt like it went on forever. We went back to their house. We had an awesome time. We stayed in their guest room. It was one of my favorite days of my entire life. And like part of it was riding the scooters. So when we got back to Denver, we're like, we got to ride more fucking scooters.
Have you rode any since you got back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, nice.
I've done it in Portland. I've done it. Yeah.
I've not been on these things yet. They look really fun though. I see them everywhere, and I want to hop on one. I remember when Segways first came out, like Mall Cop, Paul Blart or whatever. You know, I definitely hopped on one of those, and I felt out of place. Felt a little bit out of place on them, but I haven't messed with some of these electric scooters they see around the city. I like the idea of it, but no, I got to get my ass on one.
Dude, there are people in this town, too, who fucking hate them. Like the Growlix, they all hate them.
Really?
And they did a whole episode about how much they hate them, and I go, why? Like, get the stick out of your ass. I fucking love it. Like, I think they're a fun way to commute.
Yep.
Some drivers are real dicks, though, so you got to be careful of that. That's tough. If you can find a bike path, that's the best way to do it.
It is. I mean, what would be the arguments against it, though? Like, just because they're in the way, they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Well, and
it's just like how people complain about cyclists.
yeah, I
like
think
the
some
same
of it's
thing.
user error, right? So you'll get some, like, drunk girl on it.
Oh, well.
And
That could go sideways.
yeah.
Well, and if it does go sideways, I do suggest that anybody who's riding these things put on a helmet because you're going 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's legit.
Or more. You know, you can go
get
pretty
injured.
You can go fast on these things.
You can hurt yourself.
If you take a dump, you take a spill, it is going to hurt, and you can break bones and all this other stuff. So be careful if you're out there. But if you're riding them consistently. Hook yourself up with a little bit of discount. Get that damn voucher.
Yeah, get yourself on an e-bike, get yourself on a scooter, and then hie thee to the nearest burger joint and get yourself a good burger. Kev, what's going on?
Man, I love burgers. I'll tell you that. Start right there. Burgers are delicious. And so KDBR is going to be running they're doing a 64 burger joint challenge, basically. It's going to be a bracket style.
Oh, like a March Madness bracket style?
Pretty much. And so the voting is underway. It goes on. It's going to continue on here through April 3rd. The first bracket is open to vote right now, and there's going to be a 32, and then the way they break it down, you know, if you visit the article that we'll include in the show notes down below, it'll kind of, you know, show you exactly what's going on, because I'm not going to go through all 64 of these.
Yeah, no.
It's a lot of burger
Thank you.
places.
I mean, you could be an auctioneer. I feel
only
like
a half-hour
you could read
show.
it off in like 60 seconds.
I don't know. That'd be a tough challenge.
I think you could do it.
I'd have to work up to it, but I appreciate
Well,
your,
yeah, you need to rehearse. Like,
have to rehearse.
Yeah.
Like that scene in Ted where Mark Wahlberg's rattling off all the names of Ted.
Oh, yeah.
You know, trying to guess the name. Fucking Becky. But in any case, that's one of my favorite movies. Burgers are also one of my favorite things to eat. Guys, you've been around the city a lot. Art, I already know what your answer is going to be. John,
Get out of here.
It's going to be Bud's.
No, don't tell them what my answer is. I have to tell them.
Okay, you can tell them then. Why don't you take it away?
Well, I'm disappointed in this list, honestly, because it's missing the best burger joint in Colorado.
No, it isn't. It's on there.
Is it?
It just didn't make it's not as high as you wanted it to be.
Oh, well, see, you told me it wasn't even on there.
What seed is it?
That's not what I told you. I told you it didn't make the top 10. I don't know what seed it is, but it didn't make the top 10.
We're not doing this right now. We're recording, okay?
You're right.
Can you guys not air your marital dirty laundry on the show for a change?
Bud's Bar in Sedalia is
Okay.
absolutely delicious. This place has been there. My great grandpa could have eaten there. All right, so it's on Main Street down there, cash only. One of the simplest menus I've ever seen, and I actually do suspect that they do laundering out of there just because it's cash only.
Those are some serious allocations.
Look, but the burgers are super
Hard throwing heat.
the burgers are super delicious. Look, there's only 4 things on the menu. You have a single patty, a single cheese, a double
double?
cheese, and a double normal. And there's no fries. All you get is chips, a burger. They serve it with pickles and onions.
No beer.
And there's a lot of beer.
Oh, it's a bar.
Yeah, it's a bar.
I've never been.
Yeah. I cannot believe you never
Have you been, John?
No.
Okay, so
No, I
So
don't.
it's these things.
I'm not in Sedalia all that
They
frequently.
come
No, I'm
out
not either.
piping hot, and they're freaking delicious. You could almost say they're frickin' delicious. And
You could.
I am craving Bud's Bar right now.
we might have to
Actually,
go down there for a visit.
we got to
Alright.
pull out some cash and go down there.
Where are you going, John? What's your choice?
All right. I have 4 that I could do. The first 2 are going to be chalk, right? Like where they're going to be top seeds. Cherry Cricket. That place is just a Denver institution. It's phenomenal. I love the Cherry Cricket. The second one, my brother's bar. Get a JCB. It's a jalapeno cream cheeseburger. It is outrageous. It comes in this paper wrapper. Like, they just bring this whole tray of fucking condiments and put it right on the table. Great bar there. Another Denver institution that was recently bought by someone here in Denver. I can't remember who it is. Or maybe they were buying something else. It doesn't matter. 2 places near me. One is...
5 blocks away?
2 blocks away. Bertha's Baja Bistro. Which is the dumbest fucking name of anything you've ever...
Bertha's Baja Bistro.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when you hear that, what do you
get
think?
a triple B alert.
We got a triple B alert.
Here's the thing. Here's the fucked up part. They do everything good. Okay, so everything from their Mexican food, which you kind of picture when you hear that name.
When you hear Baja.
To their burgers are great. To they have on the appetizer menu, they have wings that are shockingly good, and then these bacon wrapped dates.
Whoa.
And you
Bacon
go,
wrapped date? I've never had one of those.
oh, dude! And
That
then
sounds
they
fantastic.
on the side is this dipping sauce. It's port wine reduction. It's fucking amazing. Like
Wow.
so, like everything that you get from this joint is really, really good. And then the other one is Park Burger. When I went to Denver Burger Battle in like 2014 or something, and they won.
So I've had the majority of those places.
Yeah.
Bud's Bar, baby.
Okay.
Bud still takes it, huh?
I mean, look, like at Bud's, you're not going to get lettuce. You're not going to get tomato on your stuff.
Fine.
It's
I don't
it's
want that on my burger
It's
anyway.
just a simple burger.
I like that. I like to keep...
I do too.
Going back to my love for mushrooms, I love mushroom and Swiss burgers, John. And those are... Not everybody makes mushroom and Swiss burgers, okay? I mean, some of them do, you know, like your chains and whatnot. But Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, right there on fucking... where the hell is it? It's over in the Tech Center.
There's a bunch of them, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I know
Bad Daddy's
they're
good.
a chain or whatever, but they were close to our old studio, so that was the
Yeah.
only place where I get my mushroom and Swiss hit.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love me some cooked cow. I mean...
Some cooked cow.
it's
I love cooked cow.
Give me that moo on the fried griddle, baby.
You know what it reminds me of? Did you see that episode of Parks and Recreation where Chris, played by Rob Lowe, is trying to make like that gourmet turkey burger, and he's got like a Parmesan crisp and like fucking arugula and like microgreens and mango chutney and all this, and everyone's like, "Ooh, is that saffron?" And then Ron Swanson shows up with just a plain ass fucking cow burger, and everyone goes, "Oh, this is better."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, cow beats turkey." And so like that's just
Ron Swanson is a man's man, and honestly,
amazing. One of my favorite all-time characters.
I love Ron Swanson. He is sexy, and no one's gonna work wood like that motherfucker.
That's my favorite show of all time.
You need to
by the
see.
way.
You need to see. I know you.
I've seen Parks and Rec. I just haven't seen its entirety.
Oh, you got to watch the dude. It's one of the best. The way they end it. The way
Oh,
they
God.
end it. It was.
They
it,
stick the landing nicely.
It was done right. It was like Breaking Bad almost as good as how I thought Breaking Bad ended really well.
Oh yeah, no, that's a killer ending too. I
Yeah,
agree.
so like when you get those shows where it actually has a great
Yeah.
ending too, like it's just it means more.
Yeah, I call it sticking the landing. When they stick the landing, that's amazing.
It is.
That's like you're flying into Houston airport and the winds are at like a 40 degrees and it's the opposite way and
40 degrees.
You know, 40. It's like 40 degrees from like the tarmac, right? So it's like the winds are blowing horizontally. And the pilot just sticks it. That happened to me once, and everyone cheered when we landed. It was
That's
a
a
great
fun
time.
landing.
It was a great time.
Have you ever landed and done a touch and go?
Yes.
I have
That's
not.
awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it happened to me in I think it was Chicago.
Happened to me here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, coming in here, they landed and then just took right back off.
They're
And
like,
go,
yeah,
what
no,
the
that's-
fuck?
that's
They're
not
like,
working.
fuck this up.
So something happened. Who knows? All right, moving on. So Alan Roach is an iconic voice here. He's like the voice of God at this point. And this was my favorite read from the week. It's from The Athletic. It's subscription based, but they did a long piece about how he became the most prolific PA announcer in the world. He's 56 years old. He's worked 15 Super Bowls, 6 Olympics, a FIFA World Cup. He's still the guy at the Avs. I was at the Avs 2 nights ago. He does the Rapids. He does Minnesota Vikings. And he even is the voice on the train between terminals at DIA.
Oh, really?
So, hold on, please.
Oh, that's him.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You're approaching the Terminal B.
That's him.
Yeah, that's
So-
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Alan Roach is that voice. When you hear him at the Super Bowl, that's him. If you ever go to an Avalanche game, Avalanche goal.
Epic.
Scored by number 96, Mikko Rantanen. That's him.
Epic.
He used to be the PA guy for the Rockies, too. And so opening day was yesterday. The Rockies played in San Diego. Opening day here is next week, next Thursday, which is like a holiday around here.
Oh,
so
God.
It's going to be a madhouse.
I bet you hate it downtown. Like
I just, I won't be there.
I wish I was.
I'm recording a podcast for a client. Otherwise, I would be, because it's like
I would be too.
love baseball.
I do too. It's a
and I
great
love
sport.
the vibe on opening day. Like, it's so fun.
I don't think I've actually ever been to an opening day, so maybe I'm being
fun, dude.
Maybe I'm being a bit
It's epic.
Yeah, I should open up my
It's America's favorite pastime.
let my barriers down a little bit.
Yeah, I think you would dig it, because like you can go bar hop and there's like people just in the streets and there's parties going on that you can just like walk into.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Like, opening day's great.
One of the things I liked about this article, though, John, about this guy is, he had that classic radio voice. And I was like, man, you have the voice. And one of the things I read was back in like 1990, he'd be in the crowd and he would be introducing people like in his own style. And everyone around was like, man, you should really consider doing
better.
it. Yeah, this is better than what we're hearing on the stadium PA.
Dude, he's amazing. I've never met him, but I interviewed both the PA announcer, the current PA announcer for the Rockies, Reed Saunders, and then Connor McGahee, who does it. He does it for the Broncos now, and he's also the Avs play-by-play guy on the radio. And they both know Roach, and they both like idolize him. So
he set the bar high.
Yeah. And his resume is unimpeachable here. Olympics, FIFA World Cup, 15 Super Bowls. I mean,
you did it. You did it.
He made it, dude. He is the voice.
That's epic.
That's outstanding.
That's full send.
You're just born with this voice, and you just run with it.
You better use it.
So I know there's probably a voice out there right now. You know you're a voice. And I'm not talking to you, Kevin, because you already know you know.
He's got a nice voice.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. That's a very nice compliment.
It's so nice.
I
like it when I wake up in the same apartment as you, and I get to hear
No more marital
voice
shit.
First time in the morning.
Thanks for sharing that with the viewers here on Happy Friday.
Yes.
And the listeners. Download
listeners.
it on the goddamn audio platform.
Download the fucking audio.
Yeah, if you're not doing the audio, then what are you doing?
Rate, review, and subscribe. God damn it.
Yes, but to just be born with this voice and then you start using it, and like
it's epic.
All you have to do is just have some wherewithal, not get too drunk, and just show up and be able to talk in a professional manner.
Yeah, and add some panache to the
panache, some moxie,
some flair.
Ooh, some pizzazz,
some flavor.
Pizzazz. What you got?
Full send.
Fair enough. All right. So speaking of the Rockies, they do their home opener next Thursday, April 6th. Obviously, we're like, we record the show at exactly the wrong time, so like that's pretty far in advance. But that's always fun. That's like a holiday here, fucking in Denver. Hopefully the weather cooperates. WrestleMania is this weekend on Peacock. That is 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday. They just released the lineup for both nights. John Cena is actually headlining night 1 against Austin Theory for the U.S. Championship. Night 2, the Bloodline comes to a head. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Who you got? Who you got? You think Cody Rhodes gets it done?
I think Cody takes it. I think you got to end this Bloodline storyline. And if you're not going to do it at WrestleMania, why the fuck are we even here?
That's a good point. It's WrestleMania, guys.
Yeah. Make it
day of
happen.
Wrestling. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to tune in.
I don't have Peacock anymore, so we'll see.
Peacock.
No.
I always want to say peacock.
That's better. Go with that.
Peacock. So what I would like everybody to do this weekend is get out and enjoy some sunshine. Try to spend some time with people that are meaningful to you. And look, if you're one of those people that actually you don't have any close friends, you don't have any family near you, then still allow yourself to get out there and enjoy some sun and maybe create some new conversations. Go hang out at the park, put a blanket out. That's what I would like everyone to do this weekend. Look, even if it's blistering cold, whatever, like you just got to go out and get it.
Get outdoors, and we are entering warmer weather, right? We're coming into April here, guys. We're not out of the woods yet. Probably going to see some shitty weather here this month, but I'll tell you this. Red Rocks is officially kicking off the concert series. Red Rocks is back in action. Go see some live music up there. It's the greatest venue I've ever been to, ever. Anywhere in this country, so that's exciting, man. That's a good sign. When we start seeing these outdoor venues open up, summer is coming.
So all the people are starting to do yoga at the Red Rocks now?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yep, exactly.
And if you'd like to spend some time with my kids, I single-parented all last weekend, please hit me up, and you can take them for a couple hours. That might be fun for everyone. So, but we're out of here for this week. Please rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcatcher. We're on all of them. Mile High Life is where you go, milehighlife.com. There's a bunch of great stuff. Kip Wilson, Scott DeHuff. We have Men About Town is a brand new podcast there. Go check that one out. Anything you're looking for before work, after work, shit to do on the weekends, Mile High Life is where you got it. Hit us up on the socials. It's Happy Friday Denver at gmail.com. Email us segment ideas. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. Thank you for downloading the fucking audio. And until we see you next week, let's hit it, Justin.